Incoming transmission.
Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion on the 4th of January 2018. Second review of the year. And I thought I'd go back to the SNES, because I haven't done a SNES review for a little bit, so I thought I'd go back and have a look, and it's going to be an arcade conversion. Street Fighter, or Super Street Fighter 2, The New Challenges, which is actually very, very good, if I remember rightly. Again, this one is one I haven't played for a while. Based on the Street Fighter 2 franchise, obviously, and introduces some new faces, such as Balrog, Vega, T-Hawk, Fei Long, or Bruce Lee, Cammy, and others that you couldn't previously play, which is nice. I think over the years the roster has somewhat expanded to include the Final Fight characters of Guy and Cody as well, but this is sticking to the old school franchise. And the other thing about this you probably noticed is that Ken's wearing green. Yes, you can change the colours of your character's costumes by whichever button you decide to select them with will give you a different colour. I'm playing as Ken because everybody picks Ryu, so there we go. And there's always one thing that I loved about the SNES was the fact that it could do these games pretty much to an arcade perfection. Sound-wise and graphically, absolutely stunning. The sound for me particularly always had an edge on the SNES, as you probably know from previous reviews that I've done. The Mega Drive never really had that sort of sound chip. The SNES had this really nice, beefy, meaty sound to it that the Mega Drive just didn't seem to have. Mega Drive or Genesis for all you folks over the pond. But the SNES seemed to do these games extraordinarily well. I remember my first SNES was actually the Street Fighter 2 pack. And you can probably imagine the excitement of being able to open up your Super Nintendo, attach it to the TV, and then play a game that you've been pumping coins into the arcade for months on end, playing it in the comfort of your own home. Now, the only disappointment for me was it only came with one joypad, so I had to save up and get myself a second one, which took me a couple of months because they weren't exactly cheap. And when you're a kid with no money, everything's mega expensive. But you can see here graphically it's absolutely stunning. It's basically arcade perfect near enough. You're not going to get much closer to the arcade than this. And I'm really, really happy about that. The SNES just pulled off this game immensely well. So there you go. If you ever played this in the arcade, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The fact that everything seems to be absolutely spot on. All the challenges are there. All the fighters are there. There's a tiny, tiny bit of slowdown in places. But, you know, we can forgive that. I can't believe they're still using this background with the guy in the background literally choking his chicken. So there we go. But all the background animations are complete, which is great. So you've got the guy cycling past, you've got the guy in the background, God knows what he's doing there. You've got the woman washing in there in the background, watching the fight as it goes on. And it just adds to the game. All the speech samples are current and correct. All of the music is in place. It really is a spot-on conversion, and Capcom did a brilliant job with this game. And introducing the other fighters obviously expanded the game somewhat, being able to play as Vega and M. Bison and all that lot as well, which I think you could do in the original game, but you needed to hack it or cheat, or input some cheat codes or something like that. No need to do that in this version, because they are all selectable and playable. The new challenges are quite good fun as well. You've got Cammy from the UK, you've got Fei Long, who is an obvious Bruce Lee tribute. It's worth having a go at some of the new guys. Balrog obviously has only got boxing manoeuvres, and then you've got T-Hawk, this massive Indian dude. He's worth a play. But I thought I'd stick with what we know, and that's fighting with Ken, and hopefully we'll get some new challenges as we go. There we go, let's beat the hell out of her, which is really manly, isn't it? So we are going to England, so this should be Cammy. It is Cammy, so you can have a look at the new challenges through this. Look at the backgrounds though, everything's animated really nicely. It looks weirdly like the Northern Lights, but set in a Scottish sort of castle, which is weird. There you go. But everything's really nicely done. The animations are smooth. All of the fighters' techniques are in place as well. You probably noticed there that we can do the Dragon Punch, we can do the Fireball. In fact, I think one of the games can do a proper Fireball instead of the blue Hadouken, which is nice, and also a Flaming Dragon Punch. But I can't remember which version of the game that's in. I think it's in one of the newer ones. It might be the Hyper Fighting or something. I will have to research that and bring you that game a bit later on in a different review. But as it goes, this is a 2-player game as well, so you can have a tournament against your friends and beat the snot out of them legally, which is always a nice thing. And you can set yourselves up to have a nice tournament evening, and that's really good fun as well. So if you just don't want to play against the computer all the time, plug in a second pad, get your mates round, and beat the hell out of them. It's one of those games that works on so many different levels, and that's just 2 examples. So and there's a lot of different things here as well. You've got your arcade mode, which is basically what this is. You've got your versus mode, time attack mode, and all that stuff as well. So there's lots of different options you can cycle through. There is difficulty options. You can reconfigurize your buttons, which is absolutely brilliant. I think the game has so many different things that you can do to modify it to the way you want to play it, and I think that's a real plus. I love the fact the car brake is here again, seeing very, very sort of Final Fight. I'm going to knacker this car up, and yeah, the bonus stages are intact as well. And this is the first one of a few. I think there's a barrel brake stage as well. So you've got everything that you would ever need from a Street Fighter game. I would say if you have played the original Street Fighter 2, you're probably best off starting with this game, just to give yourself the extra... How did I lose that? Give yourself the extra challenges, which will expand your game quite nicely. Like I said, here we go, Hong Kong, so this should be Fei Long, yep. And if this guy isn't meant to be Bruce Lee, then you tell me who he's meant to be, because it's just spot on. There we go, it is, it's Bruce Lee. I used to play as him quite a lot, actually. He's got some good moves. You can see again the background's absolutely stunning, and when you win, or whoever wins, all the creatures in the background will come alive and almost sort of cheer you on. You can do grabs, you can do punch, kicks. You've got several strength of kick and punch. You've got weak punch, medium and strong. Each one will do a different thing when combined with your special maneuvers, like Ken's spinning kick, for example. The stronger kick will actually do a lot more damage to them and last a bit longer. The weak one will do a very small spin across the screen, and that's about it. But absolutely stunning game. I recommend picking this one up. Because of the difficulty slider, you can adjust this to your own taste, so it doesn't become too frustrating. And all in all, it's a bit of an enjoyable romp. I think you guys will enjoy it. If you're not a beat-em-up fan, at least give it a go. It's probably one of the best fighters out there. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. It's the 4th of January. It's the Retro Revival Show. I've been Rich, and thanks for tuning in. And hello to all of you existing subscribers and new ones out there. Great to have you on board. I'll catch you next time. Bye for now!